Welcome back to Motip. Tonight we explore one of the most chilling disappearance cases in modern British history. A case solved without a body, driven entirely by digital clues, deception, and the obsession of a man who refused to let go. This is the haunting story of Jenny Nicol. Jenny Nicol was born on October 6, 1985, a bright and talented young girl who grew up in the quiet town of Richmond, North Yorkshire, where she worked at a local supermarket, played guitar in pub bands, and lived a simple, ordinary life surrounded by family and friends. On the evening of June 30th, 2005, Jenny told her parents she would be staying with friends, which was something she often did, and she left the house carrying items that suggested she might be planning a short camping trip. But after she walked out the door around 6 o'clock, she was never seen alive again. When several days passed with no calls, no messages, and absolutely no contact, her worried parents reported her missing, and shortly afterward, her car was found abandoned near the Holly Hill pub, but there was still no sign of Jenny herself. As investigators began digging deeper, their attention quickly turned toward David Hodgson, a married 45-year-old father of two, who had been grooming Jenny since she was just 14 years old. Although he denied abusing her and denied any involvement in her disappearance, something suspicious happened the very next day when Jenny's mobile phone suddenly switched on and text messages appeared that made it seem like she was alive, traveling, camping, and perfectly fine. However, detectives immediately noticed that the writing style in the messages did not match Jenny's usual texting habits, and phone data revealed that the messages were being sent from distant towns such as Carlisle and Jedburgh, locations far apart and impossible for her to realistically travel between in such a short time while the entire community was searching for her. It soon became clear that someone was intentionally trying to make Jenny appear alive when she was not. Throughout the summer of 2005, police, soldiers, and volunteers searched over 150 locations, forests, farmlands, septic tanks, and remote rural areas, desperately trying to find any trace of Jenny. But the breakthrough finally came when they discovered several huts deep inside the Sambeck plantation, structures built by the Hodgson brothers, and inside one of these huts, investigators found Jenny's nightdress, her teddy bear, and her cassette player, items of personal comfort that no one could explain away. DNA evidence proved she had been inside the hut, completely contradicting Hodgson's repeated claims that he had never taken her there. As the investigation progressed, detectives discovered even more disturbing information. Jenny had recently started seeing Hodgson's older brother Robert, and the police believed that jealousy, possessiveness, and anger drove David Hodgson into a rage that ultimately ended Jenny's life. He then attempted to cover up the crime by renting cars, driving long distances, and sending text messages from Jenny's phone in an effort to create the illusion that she was still alive and traveling far from home. Forensic linguistics, the analysis of writing style and language patterns, later confirmed that the messages were not written by Jenny but by Hodgson himself, and this evidence became crucial in building the case against him. In January 2008, the trial began, and prosecutors presented the full picture of a jealous, manipulative man who could not tolerate losing control over a young girl he had groomed for years. Finally, in February 2008, the jury found David Hodgson guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 18 years. Tragically, Jenny's body has never been found. And in 2009, a coroner officially ruled that she was dead and that her death was an unlawful killing. But for her family, the pain of not knowing what happened to her in her final moments remains an open wound that time cannot easily heal. Jenny's case became significant in the world of criminal investigation because it demonstrated how powerful linguistic evidence can be, showing that a murderer can be caught even without a body, a crime scene, or a confession. This is the chilling story of Jenny Nicol, a young girl who vanished into the night, and a predator who thought he could hide behind lies and distance, but who ultimately could not escape the truth. This is Motip. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories where tragedy and justice collide. Until next time, stay safe and take care.